Okay.
Ready.
This is called My Zanzibar Revolution. The Hamiltons told me to go to Zanzibar. I can't remember why. They were English friends I had made in Johannesburg. They lived in Salisbury, Southern Rhodesia, as it was then called. Ian Hamilton was a radio personality in Salisbury, and he and his wife had recently vacationed in Zanzibar, the island set in the Indian Ocean off the coast of Tanganyika. While there, they had come to know Fritz Picard, the United States chargé d'affaires. They sent a telegram to Picard and told him I was coming his way. I was traveling back to Greece from South Africa, but without any specific plans. I had hitchhiked to Salisbury from Pretoria, and then I went on to Mozambique after the Hamiltons had set my course for Zanzibar. In the port of Beira, I booked passage on the Europa, a Lloyd Triestino passenger liner, for the 2-day voyage up the East African coast to Zanzibar. At that time, I was 21. It was April 1963. I was on the first leg of what turned out to be a 3-year sojourn in Europe and Africa, picking up odd jobs and working as a freelance writer, which is what I told people who were curious about what I was doing, especially in places where in those days, lone travelers at my stage of life were not that common. I was really a college dropout from Southern California who wanted to write, loose in the world. Night had fallen in Zanzibar by the time I disembarked, in the company of Fritz Picard, who had come to greet me upon my arrival on board the Europa. Fritz drove me to the Hotel Pigalle, where I had elected to stay. On the way, we passed an open space lit by a huge bonfire, where a crowd of Zanzibaris were cheering a man who seemed to be ranting at them from a podium. The bearded speaker was dressed in a loose tunic and baggy pants. Cast in the red glow of the fire, he looked demonic. That, Fritz told me, and he jerked his head as he did so to indicate the orator, is Mohammed Babu, the leader of the African Nationalist Party. After 15 months in prison, Babu had been released that very day, and Fritz explained his supporters were staging a celebration. He told me that Babu, who had studied Marxist philosophy at the University of London, was an instigator of revolutionary fervor against outsiders who tried to influence the internal affairs of Zanzibar, be they colonial, imperialist, or mainland Africans. He wanted to turn the island into an independent socialist state. In his role as a radical African political activist, he already had paid several visits to Red China. Babu's immediate objective as a route to political power, according to Fritz Picard, was to rid Zanzibar of Project Mercury, an American satellite tracking station the U.S. had built on the island. Babu and other Zanzibaris, some radical, others not necessarily so, believed that Project Mercury was a CIA operation. What I stumbled into on Zanzibar was a situation ready-made for Graham Greene, a torpid, lush island sultanate that still functioned under the protection of the British, drifting absently toward independence in a hidden undercurrent of political antagonism. The British had already transferred home rule to their East African colonies and planned to lower the Union Jack in Uganda, Kenya, Tanganyika, and Zanzibar, one right after the other, at the end of the year, in December 1963, the day of Kenyatta, Obote, Nyerere, and, perhaps, Babu was about to dawn. Still, in April 1963, despite the bonfire and Babu's rally, change to a casual visitor in that languorous place at that moment seemed rather implausible. It was too humid, for one thing.